Welcome to our Boro Walk. We've got our fans ready to review what happened against Pompey. Let's start titles. Welcome, Sean and Rich, back to the Boro Walk on this channel this week. Thank you for joining us. We are asking about transfer deadline day, and we're asking you, who's the best signing that Boro have ever made in the final week leading up to August transfer deadline? We'll get Sean and Rich's view on that in a second. We're also, of course, going to talk about Middlesbrough 2, Pompey 2, and we've got our Cardiff fans standing by as Boro head off for a very early kickoff this week in game week 4 as they travel to South Wales, the very mean 12:30 kickoff for the travelling Boro fans. Let's get straight into it though with Sean and Rich. Repeated broken record here, Sean. So many shots, so many chances, and still only 1 point. Talk to us about it.
Ultimately, really frustrating to succumb in the way that we did in terms of conceding goals. I mean, it blighted us last season. Hopefully, we're getting it all out of the way early this season, and it doesn't continue to sort of ravage our season. We can point to a few excuses. I mean, there's a lot of centre backs out. We've is it bad luck? Is it something that's happening behind the scenes that we really need to iron out? I thought we'd maybe eradicate that by bringing back one of the conditioning coaches that we had previously come back from Spurs, and we were hopeful that it wouldn't, happen again. But we found ourselves without Rob Vandenberg, Howson, Lenihan, Fry, and so Ayling was playing centre back. Not to excuse it, poor defensive lapse again, but for me, the signs are there that we're playing well enough to turn teams over, and I think someone's going to get a hiding soon.
It may be Cardiff. We'll discuss that in a second. All right, Rich, there's some crazy stats out there, but the one for me is you've had something like 97 shots on a target in 3 games. You've had the highest XG expected or XG difference, and still only come away with the points that you have. You don't look downhearted. Do you see enough to think that you're still going to challenge this season, or are you worried?
I've calmed down a bit since Saturday, to be honest. I walked out the ground frustrated, angry. At times on Saturday, we looked head and shoulders above them, in my opinion. But I do want to give Portsmouth some credit because they did come play football. They didn't just bang 11 men behind the ball. As Sean alluded to, defensively, in my opinion, not good enough. Hopefully we can iron them out. It does make me think how the lack of communication happened, especially for the second, because surely one of them gives a shout, the other one backs off. But yeah, just frustration. But I do agree with Sean. I think somebody's going to get a hiding soon because it will click. And we will go and put them chances away. I'm sure of it.
Okay, I want to show you some takes on the game and see what you think, because there's some players coming in for some criticism, Dieng being one of them. I want to ask you whether it's unfair or not. And of course, the big question we're starting with, should Tommy Conway start against Cardiff? Here's Rate My Take. Sean Ty says, get that Brazilian left back in to put some spectacular crosses in and we will fly. Dumb mistakes cost us again, which is a letdown, but at least Conway showed his confidence to take pen in his debut. Brandon, there's another one, says another 2 points drop Dieng and play Conway from the start. Thoughts on all of that, Sean?
It's a tough one because it's hard to watch. I mean, Engel is clearly a player that's struggling for form. He is making mistakes. I mean, there was one instance in the second half where a really simple ball came in to his feet and it sort of bobbled and ricocheted off both feet, and the confidence is really low, and I think he can feel that the fans are frustrated and it's difficult. We have missed Bangora. There was a lot of talk of Ryan Giles coming in, which hasn't really materialised. It feels like the club have moved on a little bit now, and it looks like we're making a player for this Brazilian left back. So I understand the frustration. The Dieng thing, I think that's a bit of nonsense. Yes, it's a mistake. Obviously, when a player makes a mistake in a game, it's not the be-all and end-all. When a keeper does, it's absolutely magnified. And I understand, as Rich was saying, that it was a really poor mistake, poor communication. But I just think we've got to move on. He's a good keeper. We've got a good team. And if we just sort of keep that belief and the players play with the confidence, especially in the attacking area that they seem to be, I think we'll be okay. We've just got to really not overreact. We're just going to keep doing the right things, and I think it'll come.
Okay. Rich, Dave says Swansea, Derby, Portsmouth, 4 points from those games, and there's similar kind of making these points. He said, well, you know, we haven't actually played anyone good yet, and we're already playing catch up. And the point I made, only 69 goal attempts in 3 games, 2 of those are penalties, and we've scored open play once. You guys are very calm and relaxed about it. Social media, most Boro fans, isn't. So what are you seeing that they are, Rich?
I just think people have got short memories in football. You look at where we were this time last season. We'd brought about 15 players in. We didn't look like a team. We didn't look like they'd ever played together. Like I said, we've at times on Saturday, in my opinion, we looked head and shoulders above them. And I think Portsmouth's manager came out and said after the game, on the balance of play, we should have won the game comfortably. I think confidence is a big thing. I've seen a lot of pelters go towards Azaz after that game, and I did tweet after the game and say it was his worst game in a Boro shirt, which I still stand by. But Finn Azaz is going to be a massive, massive player for us this season. Even though it was his poorest game, he still created 6 chances and got an assist in that game. So that can't be looked over. I think people just need to calm down, including myself, because I was pretty fast with my fingers on Saturday while I was sat in the riverside.
I'll bring in Chris's tweet at that point then, because there was exactly that point made, but simply not good enough. Too many defensive mistakes. What's even more frustrating is we are completely ineffective in the final third. Lots of nothing to do with it. We will not get promoted with Dieng, Jones, Azaz, and Engel in the team, and there's another one there that talks about Engel, which you've already mentioned. If that's true that you're not going to get promoted with those, so you've got some signings to make, haven't you, before deadline day, or is this too reactionary, Rich?
Far too reactionary. Dieng, to be honest, he's made a mistake, as Sean alluded to. He's a goalkeeper. When that mistake's made, it's magnified, and he's done more good than bad for us. Azaz, I think he's very much a confidence player, the same as Jones. I think it doesn't help that the fans are groaning, and every time, especially Jones on Saturday, every time he got the ball, they were groaning before he'd even done anything. I just think we just need to get behind the boys, and it'll come. I'm absolutely 100% sure it'll come.
Well, let's see if it will come then as you travel to South Wales, both of you, for bless Sky for making this a 12:30 kickoff for Boro fans. What time will the fans be leaving at, Sean, do you think, for this one? This must be a 5 a.m. if not before.
Yeah, it's really quite disappointing. You know, at the risk of sounding a little bit of a whiner, if you like, there's no consultation whatsoever. I understand what Sky are trying to do. I understand they're trying to make it accessible for fans to be able to watch their team, you know, on TV more often. I get it, but you know, really, as we alluded to on a previous pod, I think we're asking fans to travel from Swansea up to Middlesbrough for a 12:30 kickoff. We're asking Boro fans to go down to Cardiff for 12:30. There's got to be an element of common sense. Got to be really careful that in the future we don't make fans decide as to whether they're going to travel to these games next season, whether they can justify it, because, you know, just to appease Sky, I know that the size and the money that they have, they're not going to really care too much for what some fans think, but it is a little bit disappointed. But that said, hopefully we can get another 3 points and start moving in the right direction.
Okay. Let's get Cardiff fan on and have a look at the next opponent then. Welcome, Jamie, from Where the Bluebirds Walk, across the Terrace Talk Network. Thank you for joining us on this one. You must be a happier man having come away from your own derby with a point, and now the Boro visit. They say someone's going to get battered. You must be fearing the worst, are you?
Well, with our home record against Boro, yeah, we've conceded. I think it's 7 goals in the last two times at home against Boro. And I think the last time we beat Boro at home was 2019. So all the signs are not positive from our perspective. However, I think we've dealt with Swansea. That was a massive game for us as a club because we were rock bottom on -7 goal difference. And similar to like the guys are saying there, XG and things that were favouring, but we just couldn't hit a barn door. And again, it is only a matter of time before someone scores, and then the whole team, sort of flow off that. But I'm not one of these fans that's doom and gloom. But I'm not one of these ones who said we're going to batter them, because we're not. Michael Carrick, Jonathan Woodgate are very clever. They set their teams up to be, high tempo, and they like to dictate play. So we're going to be we're going to have to be at our mettle to get some sort of positive result out of it.
Rich, where do you put Cardiff in terms of teams and where they'll finish this season? Lots of them, people have them going down. Do you think they're being underestimated a bit, and is there a danger that Carrick might do the same?
Yeah, I don't see them going down. I think they'll be more than safe. They've made some smart signings, to be fair. Plenty of experience in there. I would think top bottom half, I would think, for a finish. At the moment, I haven't really watched a lot of yours. Were you in the away end at Swansea? That away end looked absolutely insane when that goal went in.
It was. But it's like any derby, though, as you say, Rich. It's form goes out the window. It's only it's going to be game 4 now of the season. And listening to yourselves earlier on, you're creating so many chances, and it's just a matter of when one goes in, everybody else will follow. And like you said, you're Tommy Conway. We're very familiar with him being an ex-rival of ours from Bristol City, so he'll know what it's like to kind of get under our skin. I feel at our stadium as well, so that might benefit you guys as well.
Sean, does Conway start for you in this game? Then there's lots of people calling for it.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a long season. If we have a decent cup run like we did last season as well, I think Tommy Conway looked really tidy when he came on. I think he looked dangerous. He looked hungry. I was really impressed with him. But I don't think we need to upset the balance of the team just to sort of shoehorn him in. I think obviously Latila is going to be a very dangerous player for us this season. But there'll be more than enough games, especially Tuesday, Saturday every week, that Tommy Conway will make his mark. And even if that means coming off the bench at the weekend, so be it.
Okay. All right, Jamie, give us a score prediction then, please, as the home team.
Because I'm feeling quite good after winning the other day. Let's say a scrappy 1-0 win to the home side, just because I'm feeling positive about yesterday.
Rich, it was 4-1 back in April when Boro went there, and Cardiff were awful in that game. This is a different Cardiff side, though. What are you going with?
I've got 3-1 Boro. I think it'll be tighter than a 3-1 game. I don't think we'll walk it 3-1. I was actually at Cardiff 2 years ago, and I think we won 3-1 that day, but it didn't really reflect the game. We sort of got a late breakaway goal when you were putting the pressure on trying to get an equaliser. 3-1 Boro.
Okay. Right, thanks, Jamie, for visiting us. Good luck against the Boro. I think she may need it. Cheers for that. And finally, for you two, transfer deadline day, of course, this week. Sean, for it to be a great window for Boro, what what do you need in terms of positions for you to be fully happy?
I'd love a left back. There's no hiding from it. Bangora's out for a while, so we definitely need to fill that void. I think otherwise, I genuinely think we got our business done early, and I'm really happy with the squad.
Rich, are you surprised that there hasn't been any interest in Latif? We've been expecting, or the Leeds might have, some rumours Leeds might be considering a bid, but I'm not sure he would. I'm sure he would go there. Surely he'd only move to the Premier League, wouldn't he, if an offer came in?
I was reading on Twitter earlier that Ipswich fans want him because the Brozier deal's dead apparently. So I saw someone share his highlights from last season saying, "Let's go and get him." And I'm a bit worried, to be quite honest, this deadline day, because there's a lot of rumours with force. I've heard from some quite good people who don't often get stuff wrong that there's going to be a late bid from Spurs for Hackney. And I think if the money's right, I don't think we'll turn it down. But I think, like Sean, I think a left back is a must. It's a must. Just for depth more than anything. Give Engel a couple of weeks out, get his confidence back, and go from there. Depending on Fry and Lenihan, there's no indication whatsoever of when they'll be back. So I wouldn't mind seeing, even if it's a Prem loan, of a centre back come in just as another option. I mean, we do have Harley Hunt, but just turned 17. Is it a bit of a baptism of fire to throw him in at this stage?
Right, you're just in the same boat as Norwich City then. They are keeping everything as crossed they keep hold of Sargent. You'll be hoping the same, that actually it's no one out rather than loads in. We'll check in with you next week once we know the outcome of all that. Before we let you go, though, in the comments below, what's the best deadline day signing that Boro have made, or the worst? We'll let either of you start on this one. Can you recall any last-minute decisions that have gone on to impact the season positively or negatively?
Go on, Sean.
We don't really do many on deadline day, to be honest. I don't think. Did we get Adama Traore once on deadline day? Was that a swap with Adama once? Maybe.
Yeah, it was Aston Villa, wasn't it?
Aston Villa, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I suppose at the time we were playing pretty dour football. He was pretty exciting.
All right.
One of my favourite signings Boro ever made was Chris Riggett, and him and Malcolm Christie come on deadline day as part of a double deal. I think so. He would probably go down as one of my best, and Michael Ricketts would go down as one of my worst.
Thought you were going to say that. All right, if you could beat that then in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching us on Where the Boro Walk, and also tune into the podcast version of this as well on Spotify. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Rich. Enjoy your very long trip to Cardiff. We'll catch you back next Sunday, a bit more blurry-eyed. We will review it all. Thank you much.